I think being a mom, it is so hard to find recipes that are quick, that are simple, that don't take a lot of time, don't take a lot of ingredients, don't have a lot of prep time, don't have 1,000 different steps, and are also somewhat nutritional. It's so easy to just whip out a bowl of cereal or Pop-Tarts in the morning, and you know, everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. It's okay. I do it too. But I would like to share some different recipes that I have that my kids also enjoy, and they don't take a lot of like work. I shared the first recipe on my Instagram. A lot of you reached out and asked, you know, more specifics on it, so I thought that would be the perfect one to start out with. It is the oatmeal breakfast bites, or breakfast balls as my kids call them. The second one is banana muffins. And then the easiest one of them all, I think, is their Cheerio bars with chocolate chips on top. So let's get started. I'm gonna show you the breakfast bites. They are so easy, so simple. You need 2 bananas. I always have ripe bananas because I'm always doing these or the banana bread. So you need 2 ripe bananas, 2 cups of rolled oats, a 1/4 cup of almond butter, but I just use peanut butter, and I don't quite use a full 1/4 cup. You need a 1/4 cup of honey, and then chocolate chips. I use the mini chocolate chips, and then half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I just realized my husband used the rest of my cinnamon in something he was making. So instead, I think I'm just gonna try to use pumpkin pie spice. First, what I do, you take the bananas, and I literally squish them and then pop them in the bowl. I'm gonna take a fork and mash those up. Then you're gonna do 2 cups of oats. I didn't realize how much I eyeball stuff and like just kind of like throw it in until I started cooking with Brett. He thinks you have to go like very precise. It has to be measured perfectly, and I kind of know what I can like be easy with, or you know, add stuff in. And so I didn't realize how much I'm like a sloppy like cooker until he started to go like dead on from the recipe. You stir the banana and the oats together. Then you're gonna do a 1/4 cup of peanut butter. I don't really measure. Like I said, I don't really measure specifically, so I just do like a pretty big spoonful that kind of looks like a 1/4 cup. It is all about combining. It'll feel really, it won't feel very mixed together at first, but the more you work it in and the more you stir it and mix it, the easier and the better it will form together. Which, same with this, I go ahead and eyeball it. Then we're gonna do the cinnamon. So usually I would eyeball just half a teaspoon or do a little sprinkle in, but because I'm using pumpkin pie spice, I am gonna measure it out completely. Stir that in a little bit. Lastly, you're gonna add the chocolate chips. So the recipe is 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips. But I just kind of dump some in. I just kind of eyeball it, I'll stir it in. I just want to make sure that every bite that you form, every ball that you form will have chocolate chips in it. Alright, this is not in the recipe, but I do, like if I'm making pancakes or anything like this, and even muffins, banana muffins, I like to add just a little bit of flaxseed, and I think it adds a little bit more nutritional value. I probably add not quite a 1/4 cup, and then you just sprinkle it and stir it in. If it's a little too dry, sometimes it's hard to kind of work it through. I think maybe adding a little bit more peanut butter to work it in. Okay, normally I take a cookie sheet and I lay foil down, and then I take the smallest little scooper, or you know, if you have an ice cream scoop, just scoop half of that. Whatever kind of scooper you have, you could even just take a spoonful or a measuring cup to kind of get that ball form. But I take the smallest scoop that I have, and then I mean, obviously you don't have to worry about these expanding. They're not cookies. This is it. You put them in the fridge and that's it. So usually I just put them like smushed together on a cookie sheet. I put it in the fridge. Probably you can leave it in the fridge overnight or even half an hour so that they get a little bit cold and they form. And then that's it. Then you can eat them. I usually store them in a big container. They can kind of be piled on top of each other too, but my cookie sheet seems to be dirty, so instead I'm just gonna use a mini muffin pan and just put them all in, you know. I'm gonna put them in here. Probably just wiped peanut butter in my hair. It's okay. I'm sure I could have worse in my hair. All right, those are done. On to the next thing. Another thing that I wanted to share with you too. I used to make French toast sticks, and you can also put banana, like smushed up banana, in with the pancake batter. I used to make, if I had like one Sunday or one Friday where I had nothing going on, I'd take the afternoon and I would make a bunch of stuff and prepare it for the week. I would make that ahead of time and I would put it in Ziploc baggies and freeze it. But I would look up ways where they won't get freezer burnt or won't get like mushy when you reheat it. We went through ours pretty quick, but I think Pinterest might have some good tips on how to freeze stuff like that. So on to the next thing. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make the Cheerio peanut butter and chocolate chip bars. So as I am making this recipe, I realized that I never bought Cheerios. So this is gonna be a totally new recipe. I don't even know if it's gonna turn out, but we're gonna try it. So instead of Cheerios, I found that I have Chex Mix or corn squares. So what you do with the Cheerio bars is you take half a cup of peanut butter and half a cup of honey and you melt it down and you mix it on the stovetop. You could also do it in the microwave, but you mix it and let that kind of melt together for probably just a minute. And so this is what it's gonna look like. And then you take 2 cups of Cheerios. Obviously I have the Chex Mix, or I have the corn squares. You're going to dump the peanut butter in with your Cheerios. And then because these are a little bit bigger, the recipe calls for 2 cups of Cheerios. I ended up doing 5 cups of the corn squares. And then you're gonna do chocolate chips. It just says optional, so I'm just gonna do a little handful, sprinkle it in. Same thing as last time, you just kind of eyeball it. So the chocolate chips have kind of melted in with the peanut butter. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spread this in a baking dish so it's thick bars. And then I'm gonna sprinkle some more mini chocolate chips on top. And then this will go in the fridge as well. You wanna try some of these?
No.
Ooh, you know what? This kind of tastes like, without the powdered sugar, it tastes like, gosh, what's that called? You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh my gosh, Puppy Chow. What are their names?
I haven't named them.
You haven't named them? You better name them. They might cry. I think this is about the realest cooking show you've ever seen, because half of my dishes are dirty, you know, because I'm too tired at night to do dishes, and so I wait till the next morning, and then now I don't have dishes. I don't have a nice square dish with sides on it to make the bars. Use that, don't use a baking sheet, but that's what I had to do. And so I just did half, because if I would spread it out on this whole thing, it would have been way too thin, and you want them thicker because they're supposed to be bars. So I think this will turn out all right. I think it'll taste okay. Tastes like puppy chow. I'm gonna sprinkle chocolate chips on top, and then this will go in the fridge as well. This is a recipe that I have shared many times as well. 1 stick of softened butter, which if you're like me, you don't set your butter out ahead of time because you don't think that far ahead. So take the butter, microwave it for 10 to 15 seconds, and your butter will be just fine. So you take your butter, 1 cup of sugar, 2 eggs. We have fresh chicken eggs, so we have a unlimited supply of eggs. Then you're going to do 2 to 3 ripe bananas. So this is the same technique. You just squish the banana, put it in here, and then I'm gonna stir it all with a fork again. All right, you can stir this. You can do this in a mixer. You can use a fork. You can use a handheld mixer. I went ahead and used my handheld mixer just so it would go a little bit quicker. Now you're going to add 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Then you're gonna add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then half a cup of chocolate chips. If you're doing muffins, you will cook these probably 25 minutes or so, 20 minutes at 350 degrees. If you are doing mini muffins, I think it takes just about 15 minutes, which is another reason why I also do muffins. It takes a lot less time. Oh my gosh. You know how much breakfast stuff I'm about to have? I just took the muffins out of the oven. They turned out really good. The breakfast bites, they are pretty hardened. And then these are totally done. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these up. I honestly don't know how well those bars are gonna go over. I don't know, we'll see. They might be like a good dessert, like a decent dessert. Like I said earlier, the Cheerios work so much better with those bars. I wish I had them to show you, but I mean, you get the main gist of how to make them. I hope that gives you just a couple different ideas to make in the morning. All of these things can be made with pretty much the same ingredients. I used only 1 package of mini chocolate chips for all 3 recipes, and I still have a little bit left. So when I go to the store, I try to buy the same couple ingredients, and then I know I have them on hand. If we're out of cereal or if we're out of Pop-Tarts or, you know, whatever, something different, then I know that I can whip that, you know, one of these 3 recipes out pretty quick. So if you have any questions, let me know. The first and second recipes are on my Pinterest. I always have everything linked in the description below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this morning. If you liked this video, let me know, and I will continue to post different videos, be a little bit more organized, but you know what? It's real life. This is real life. I'm not prepared for anything anymore, it feels like. Once you have kids, you're late, you don't have anything prepared, and you literally go with the flow, and it's okay. It's okay. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.